welcome to Talking Bottom on the Young Ones. I'm Ange Pearson.
I'm Paul Tanter.
And I'm Matt Brooks.
And we have reached the final episode 6 of Series 2, Summer Holiday, the only episode with a 2-word title. It aired on the 19th of June, 1984. And, of course, it begins with the end of term. School's out for summer. It's actually school's out forever, unbeknownst to the boys.
Very good.
It is quite heartbreakingly foreshadowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That eventually they're going to sail off a cliff after very, very... but I won't go into the whole plot. We'll talk about it. But they sail off a cliff after successfully robbing a bank. Everything's riding high. And their fate is at the bottom of a quarry in somewhere unknown in London. Maybe it is known. But
in a bus with sharp microwave ovens emblazoned on the side.
Spectacular ball of fire that nearly didn't blow up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it hadn't actually blown? I think this is well known, isn't it, that they'd actually rigged it and it didn't go up.
Yeah.
And they had to go back to it.
So this is the opposite to the cooker.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We didn't put enough in this one rather than too much. Yeah.
So it's a bittersweet ending, isn't it? And they do all get killed. There was a rumour that went round schoolgirls apparently in the playground
That Aid was dead.
Aid was actually dead.
It's a weird snuff sitcom. What is mad in it?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, let's shall we start by reading that out, just so that everyone knows what we're talking about? So, Paul, if you want to read that out.
This one's from the BBC Archive. Tabloid. Onlookers' Day. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Reports of my death grossly exaggerated is the headline. No wonder Vivian, the head-banging lunatic off the telly, is looking a bit puzzled. He's just had a really heavy scene. He's dead. If you remember, at the end of the series of The Young Ones on BBC Two, he went over a cliff in a double-decker bus with his friends Rick, Neil and Mike. He wasn't dead, really, of course, any more than any of them got hurt hitting each other with cricket bats or diving through windows. But there we are. A realistic programme like this is... I'm assuming there's some tongue-in-cheek here.
Yeah,
a realistic programme like this is bound to make the avid telly watcher wonder. So a rumour started that Adrian Edmondson, who played Nutter Vivian, had really driven off this mortal coil. Why it should have been just him and not the others, Rick Mail, who comes from Droitwich, by the way. I think that's in brackets. That's just a little
extra little bits of colour and info. Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't think I'm going to be able to hit 200 words for this. I don't know. Just put something in brackets about where they're from. Okay, all right. Who comes from Droitwich, by the way?
Les, 50.
Yeah. Nigel Planer or Christopher Ryan is a mystery. Okay, so why it should have been him and not the others is a mystery. Now this rumour reached the ears of the young ladies at Worcester Girls' Grammar School, Aid Edmondson fans to the last, and disturbed them something terrible. So they engaged the services of the Onlooker Insight team, which I'm assuming is from this newspaper, who leapt into action to set their minds at rest. I suppose a bit like points of view or something.
It'll be a feature, the onlookers. Let's see what you've witnessed.
Dear paper, please tell me if this is true. I mean, these days you just Google it, wouldn't you? A call to the BBC produced the name of Mr. Edmondson's agent, London Management. We'd been besieged with calls, said a lady there. But there's no truth in it at all. He's not dead, and he's not even ill. In fact, I was talking to him 5 minutes ago, and he was perfectly all right then. Whether anyone who makes a living putting studs in his head and being generally destructive can ever be described as perfectly all right is a bit debatable, I suppose. It's a character. It's not really the actor.
Was that back in the journo's voice?
Yeah, I think so.
That wasn't from the agent.
Yeah, But this is the final line. But rest assured, ladies of WGGS, that would be the school, Aid is alive and kicking. Okay, so that wasn't a review. That was just a little story about Aid Edmondson at the end of the
And
Young
that
Ones.
is presumably either a load of schoolgirls doing a prank or genuinely believing that because he was driving, maybe...
Do you think
that Aid was the one that might have died horribly and not the rest? Or they liked Vivian, so they only cared about Vivian?
Mate, I would assume, that the education system wasn't so shit back then, especially in the grammar school system, that they wouldn't think that all the others would survive either the crash or then the subsequent explosion. And so I'm guessing there was even back then, I mean, you tend to get them more these days, don't you? The celebrity death rumour, but I guess...
But for clickbait and things now, isn't it? Whereas then you feel like, would there really have been a panic in the playground the next day? Maybe. Matt, what do you think?
What that makes me think of is the rumour that we all shared in the playground that...
Neil Buchanan?
No, it's either
Marilyn Manson had a rib removed?
That's not about death, but I have heard that one.
Okay.
And along with that one, that he was the geeky kid from the Wonder Years.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
true.
yeah.
It's that Keenan or Kel had died. Remember this one? You know, from the show Keenan and Kel,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon
No.
sitcom.
No,
Yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, Keaton
Yeah.
O'Connell died.
And
Can't remember
it
which one. Was
changed
Keenan?
between. No, I heard either one. What I eventually heard was Keenan pushed Kel out of the way of an oncoming car, and he got the bunt of the car himself, dying, and then the other one killed himself out of guilt and grief.
Wow.
Not
Okay.
anyway.
Orange soda didn't help alleviate their grief.
No.
So that reminds you of that. Yeah, I mean, I guess these things go round the playground, and then this page in whatever paper it was answered their question. It is funny the agent had to answer it, isn't it?
they actually
had
reached
to
out
actually
to the
give
agent.
a quote.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible, incredible that people believe that Aid was actually dead enough to ring the agent and get a comment on it. But I think they were probably just having a bit of fun with maybe a prank call, but who knows?
So did you know Cliff Richard starred in 2 films called The Young Ones and Summer Holiday? That's the joke.
That is the joke, that Rick is I mean, they do say on this commentary, not to always quote the commentary, but if anyone's not listened to it on the Blu-ray, Paul Jackson and Jeff Posner are on this episode. And they do say, Rick did have a genuine thing about Cliff Richard. Now, whether or not it was that he was a huge fan or whether he found it really funny to keep referencing Cliff,
Okay.
I think it must be a bit of both. Maybe there's like an affection there, but also just, leaning into the bit that was Rick.
Yeah.
It was like, let's keep the cliff motif. Do you think the plunging off the cliff was something that they'd planned when they first brought it
because
together?
of the wordplay, because it's a cliff? Do you know what? I don't know, but I mean, it provides such a perfect joke, doesn't it? Look out, cliff.
Yeah.
And it's Cliff Richard, but they're going over a cliff.
It's almost
so
like he
great.
gets the final revenge on them. It's kind of like he kills them.
Yeah, and the fact they're on the bus, obviously, I don't know if you've ever watched the film Summer Holiday.
No.
But that is a key detail in that
they're on a
film.
bus.
I don't really remember it, but they're on a bus, aren't they?
Well, I mean, it gets specifically referenced in this episode, doesn't it? Because when they jump on the bus, the footage goes to black and white, which then gradually comes back to colour.
Exactly.
For that end sequence, which as they and again, not to always talk about the commentary, but they shot on film because it was a lot easier to if you're on a moving vehicle, you don't want your VT truck light and all that sort of thing. Yeah. And I suppose it just adds to that sort of feel of aping the film Summer Holiday.
Yeah, and do you know what I found interesting? We do need to ask Paul about this, but he said London Transport gifted them the bus. So
really?
Says on the commentary.
Okay. It must have been one that had been decommissioned. It was it obviously drove because they drove it. So okay.
And the thing is, those like classic buses, maybe not from the 80s, but like classic buses, like they're actually kind of refurbished now, used for weddings.
I've got a fact about that. The bus survived. It was a Routemaster RM1536. The bus was used in Summer Holiday, then returned to London service after being filmed.
No way.
And it would completely rattle and shake all the time, break down and be late. So no one could tell the difference.
No
okay.
way.
That you were setting up a joke there. Yeah, okay. All right, so from the top of this episode, the opening, I think there's something that there's a feeling that they get really well here, which is that I remember from when you're a kid. Obviously, this is pre-university. The summer holidays start, and on the first day, you're like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Well, this is the thing. This is like, it's not even like a few hours after term's finished, isn't it? It's that day where you don't really know what you're doing. It's not even the first day. It's like you've finished school, you've got home, and then
the line
is Rick's meant to be going home to meet his parents, and they're dead.
It's been 4 hours, Vivian says.
And
start smashing the place up. They're kind of rehashing their classics as well. Everything's boring
it's this
again,
isn't it? Yeah, it's listless. It kind of picks up for they're in the garden. It gives me a little bit of a feel for Sup when Richie and Eddie are on the roof.
Yes.
The deck chairs and just sitting there with nothing better to do.
Those weird shorts that are meant to be like Eric Morecambe, according to
in the commentary.
Podcast. I didn't pick that up at all.
Well, no, I think actually Aid found it difficult to explain to the wardrobe department. They were saying to actually describe the trousers he wanted, so that they would swing.
Yeah. So these shorts, they're like khaki coloured. They're about knee length, and
you're wearing shorts, just so the listener knows.
Yeah. And around the, I'm not describing mine. I'm describing the Aid's ones.
Oh right.
Around the knee, there is essentially a hard ring that means
Yeah.
that the shorts don't close around the knee. They're sort of permanently open.
And they let a breeze up.
So is that what it's for? Just to let a breeze up?
I think that must be the idea, right?
I'd be paranoid about insects the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
There's ants around that are sentient, so
it's sort of the opposite of what you would wear if you were kind of wading through the jungle or like you should be protecting.
For some reason, when I see them, they make me think of like people living in India back in like the old, when there was the East India Company and that, you know, like Brits in India. For some reason,
white people going over, and I think the garb is sort of reminiscent of that. I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like when you're in hot weather. Yeah. What do you wear? That's absolutely what it conjures up for me. Yeah. So I don't know what they're officially called, those kind of stuff.
I don't know.
But they have been
cargo pants. Is that?
But with the loop in it and everything, it is a visually funny thing. I think Aid was right to argue for it, even though it must have caused a headache.
You talked about something that reminded you of an episode of Bottom, and there's something in this opening scene that reminds me of an episode of Bottom, which is when they're on Women in Common and Richie's talking about dressing in moccasins, and we'll get a big flap down the front and a big flap down the back. Yeah. And Rick here talking about his childhood when you would go in the garden and get naked and pretend to be a worm and wriggle around.
Yeah. What's the thing of like you put fruit down your pants and pretend to be pirates? What the fuck's that about?
Absolutely love that.
It does feel like young Richie, that very much so. And wriggle around, pretend to be a snake in a sand pit. I think.
What I do like about that, and they don't dwell on it because Rick's just kind of left, they ignore him entirely. They're like, haven't got any recognition laughter from that, Rick. We didn't used to pretend we were snakes wriggling about in the sandpit, but it's the plural. He says pirates, snakes. So he wasn't on his own, is what I get from that little
snakes. Yeah.
Did he have a friend?
No. It's unrealistic.
Because he's an only child.
He would play them with an imaginary child.
We know
he would play them with Drop Dead Fred.
Or maybe
that's what was it an imaginary friend?
Or was it a real snake?
Well, no. His body and his dick were snakes. I don't know. And obviously, what was little Rick's little imagination thinking of?
He did these enough that he gave these games names.
Yeah. I do love that little bit. It's such a nice insight.
And it's so telling that he's making an excuse after, because he doesn't go, oh, here's Neil. He goes, oh, great, here comes Neil as a distraction.
Which is the last thing Rick would usually say. It's like, oh, okay, this will get us away from that. But, just to go darker, he either had a friend or an abuser.
Or both.
When your parents, I also love the detail when your parents have left you on your own. It's like they've gone and he's left entirely. So maybe.
Well, that's going to happen again a bit later in the episode.
He probably had like an old like gardener who would come and do their garden. who Rick would be like, and I would go and sit in his shed and he'd let me milk a cow blindfold.
I love that joke.
When your mummy and daddy went down. Yeah, it's very sweet.
Come on, little Ricky, you want to play pirates? Oh, yes.
We won't turn everything dirty. It's a very sweet little memory from Rick's childhood, but none of them agree with him.
Sporting the yellow dungarees again. Yeah. Only the second time he appears in them, and yet that's a very iconic Rick look, isn't it? It's
when I think of those dungarees, I think of him doing that dancing by the radio, which is the shot you used in the thing you cut together. Yeah. It's that that sort of stepping dance that he does. Yeah. But when I think yellow dungarees, that's what I think of. Rick doing that dance.
And what it is Rick in his kind of fun clothes, isn't it? He wore it for the house party, and now it's school's out forever. Yeah. He's so joyful, isn't he? Almost like in that GCSE kind of way, rather than no one was singing that because you're not at school anymore, Rick.
Speaking of clothes, the Neil turning into the Incredible Hulk skit. I love the detail of that he does it, right? He turns into the Incredible Hulk, and then we go back to reality, and it turns out that he was fantasizing it, yet his clothes are ripped.
What happened to, and what happened to your clothes, Neil? So they weren't watching him do it, I suppose. They looked away and then, what's going on? When Neil arrives and he's like, he's in a bad mood yet again. He goes through his lovely monologue of how the essay went. It's
I love that list.
Got my pencil, my
lucky gonk.
Gonk. Now, gonks were the original name for trolls, is that right?
Yeah, those gonks are those kind of troll things, aren't they?
But things with large hair.
I love that. It's like support gonk, and lucky gonk, and then more gonks, and then polos, pens.
My retractable pencil and the lead for the retractable pencil, but also before that he lists a pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
So what's he got that for?
Spare lead.
Does mention
Arnold Rimmer would love this level of preparation and procrastination.
Right. It's very Rimmer actually, but just the brilliance of, and then they said stop writing.
Right now, what I love about that is with that happening, he's still got a better mark than the other three.
Yeah.
They all probably got minus something.
Yeah, he must have got something for writing his name on it, maybe he got to that. Yeah, it's very, very fun. But it does show that actually Neil is a little bit of a swot in that he's well prepared. isn't it? He's had a good
suppose so.
education. He's turned up well prepared
Yeah.
for
Well,
every
is that
eventuality.
well prepared? Just having a lot of writing things.
Well, having spare lead, and polos in case
Support
you throw-
gonk. Do you think he's the kind of guy who these days would have a support animal?
I thought that meant
probably.
to like lean like a pencil against
I
to support like
I
that.
thought it meant like
an
emotional
support gonk.
So he's got a lucky one and a support one. All right, yeah.
And then more gonks. Anyway, brilliant. I mean, just the word gonk in Neil's voice is brilliant, isn't it? Like gonk. Very well put together. And then...
So he's ripped up his clothes, turning into the Hulk, well, not turning into the Hulk, and then goes upstairs to a Mike Lee sitcom sort of thing.
Well, you say Mike Lee, it is,
It's
but I would actually say it's akin to the Monty Python Worst Family in the World sketch.
Right.
Okay.
Which is in the very final episode of Monty Python's Fine Circus.
Where we should say, in this case, the father is our very good friend.
In Young Ones,
Roger Sloman.
It's Roger
Now,
Sloman.
Apparently, according to the commentary, Roger Sloman sent this a clip of this bit to Mike Lee in lieu of to try and get him to work with him, and he did.
Did he really?
Well, this is what the commentary says.
Wow, okay.
I think that's really funny.
That's
fantastic. So that led to Nuts in May.
That's amazing.
Is Nuts in May Mike Lee thing?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous things Roger Sloman did, I think.
Well, I didn't know that. I knew he did Nuts in May, but I didn't know Mike Lee did that.
Yeah, it's Mike Lee, and Alison Steadman, of course.
The kids, he's nailed his feet to the floor, so he can't go for a walk. That's the same kid on the cornflakes packet and the chimney sweep.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Related to Paul Jackson or something?
No, but I think his sister might be there as well.
They did mention that those kids on the cornflakes packet had some kind of link, didn't they?
But also, do you know what? Child actors can be like, if you find one that's good, you're going to use them again because as we've seen in Bottom, some child actors can be fucking awful.
Then they have the annoying habit of growing up and becoming
so that's why
they,
his voice is broken, get rid of him.
Absolutely wonderful depiction of vile British, like kind of like living worse than the young ones. Like
she's just playing with her voodoo,
proper scum. And then it is again, like, not to always just mention other shows, but I think it's like that Worst Family in Britain in Monty Python led to Mrs. Levinson's and Iris in The League of Gentlemen.
Mrs. Levinson.
When Mrs. Levinson turns up to see Iris's house, and the kids are eating out the dog bowl, and like there's all kinds of grotesque. It's grotesque, isn't it?
That parrot or whatever the bird is there really winds me up. Like it feels like nails on a chalkboard. I like Neil coming in, not being completely paid off. He just coming in. Well, I don't know who said you could use my bedroom. Well, actually, I've got a pretty good idea.
Dawns on him.
Yeah, and then he just gets smacked by Neil.
ask, do you think he thinks it is Vivian or Mike?
I think it's
Vivian.
just the guys. I think.
Yeah,
I think Vivian.
Just one of the people I live with. It could have been any of them, couldn't it? Really?
Yeah,
could have been.
But I think Mike's the one who would have been able to organise.
Mike's the one who's enterprising enough to be charging them, but I feel like Vivian might know those kind of people.
Then he gets a smack on the head with a cricket bat, which very bottom.
Which Viv then brings outside and does the wonderful smacking round of Rick as well.
Yeah. Like probably swings it all round like a kind of 360 swing and then a hit a few times. It's great with that.
Another example of like you really see it impacting on Rick, don't you? Like it's brutal. Like,
the first hit,
impact of the
first hit he tries to ignore, doesn't he? It's like a younger brother being hit, but like, no, I'm not even going to react. I know what you're like, Vivian. If I just ignore you go away.
It's because he reacts like it stings. He really sort of flinches and like brings his hand up, and that's why it gets that reaction from the audience. Neil gets hit again when they're playing cricket. They're playing that Who Am I game. They play cricket.
Botticelli, which I didn't know what that was called. Like I thought he was saying body jelly.
Oh, okay.
Botticelli.
Right.
Jelly Botty. That's very much a kind of family fun game, isn't it? That like Rick's clearly played with his parents and everything. Like Guess Who I Am.
Silent P is a good joke.
Yeah, well, they do that in the Bambi episode as well. With Vivian actually writes it on his name, don't they? It's a nice callback.
I know we've had explosions in the young ones, but is this the first time? So when Rick gets set on fire, is this the first time someone has been on fire in the young ones? Because I don't recall anyone being on fire.
I think
his bed's on fire.
But not
someone,
and and then his bedroom's on fire in flood as well. Gets put out. Vivian throws a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
set anyone on
this is
fire.
the-
Yeah, possibly.
And you know what? I like the way they do it. They do it in a way that means they can have the fire going for a while, don't they? Because he's on all fours. It's on his back, so you've got the protective stuff there.
Well, and they actually have it being put out live, like you know, in the show by a fire extinguisher. So it's just part of the action. Isn't it? So it's
I
very
really
clever.
like the very matter of fact, almost boring organising of the rules before the cricket game starts. Like, right, Rick, you're the stumps, and sorry, what? And like go around here.
Yeah,
like,
and that, then like the way Rick is bracing himself and crying, ready for the end.
that is one of Paul Jackson's favourite moments of the young ones.
It's because you got the depth down the studio, don't you? Yeah,
yeah, it really works well.
Technical as well as well written.
Because you got to keep focus. It's a challenge for the focus puller just to keep on the person the whole way. Yeah,
and just to go back very slightly. I was looking into this is a little bit. Bear with me, right? Because I think there's a link here with Filthy Rich and Cat Flap. So when Rick is obviously asking people to guess who he is, like we never get to like who Rick's person is until the very sort of end when he's like, "I was Paul Squires," and they all look blankly, and that's sort of it, isn't it, in the show? So I was like, I wonder who Paul Squires is. So I looked into it, and he was a British variety entertainer, comedian. He had a very brief. He was a household name briefly after being on a talent show in 1980 called Search for a Star.
right.
He had a sort of meteoric rise to fame. He got given a series. He was on mainstream TV. It was kind of he was out of his depth.
Oh,
and
really?
apparently, it was like Squire was reportedly filming next to the Young Ones studio at the time.
Okay.
And the cast frequently teased him, which will have led to his name eventually kind of making it into the script, which is brilliant. But I looked into who he was, and like he was kind of this fallen star
So you're
that ended
saying
up back in the clubs or whatever. He's a bit
Richie
like
Rich.
Richie Rich, yeah.
Okay,
And
that's interesting.
Okay,
there's a really
right.
fascinating article on the British Comedy Guide that really delves deep into his career. So I won't go into all of that, but it's worth reading.
Do they say it's possible that he influenced Richie Rich? Or,
No, but they just talk about Paul. He's actually just Paul Squire.
Right, okay.
But they had the end.
Rick-
They don't really know who he is.
Rick Mel loves adding. Steve Coogan does as well. Yeah, you add S to things. Yeah.
Well, you just
It's like
slightly get it wrong.
Stephen Hawking's,
But that kind of shows you don't even really know who it is anyway.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like you've got it wrong. But I was fascinated reading about this guy, and I was like, it is interesting that there were so many people in the 80s, and this article makes the point that there was the niche alternative comedy that everyone was desperate, to get ahead of, like in the likes of, the Comic Strip Presents and the Young Ones. But we sort of forget that at that time, they were also desperately looking for replacements for Morecambe and Wise, the two Ronnies. They wanted a big star, and of course, the likes of Les Dennis and Bobby Davro,
Ross Abbott.
they did make it, didn't they, in that kind of light entertainment sphere. But the alternative comics, like obviously, it's why they're taking the piss out of it, isn't it? And this was like, I guess it'd be like someone on Britain's Got Talent, like a Britain's Got Talent winner.
Now, why
being
is
referenced.
it? This is an aside here. Why is it that Russ Abbott and Bobby Davro and who was the other one we mentioned there?
Oh, Les Dennis.
Les Dennis. Why is it we now think of them as quite naff? Yet Morecambe and Wise, other ones have sort of stood the test
Because
of
it
time.
wasn't a game show, I think.
Well, I think they did so much sketch that was very kind of safe. It was like middle of the road, wasn't it? Whereas like Morecambe and Wise had that kind of charm.
Yeah.
That was the music hall training, wasn't it? And they brought that to TV, and they were welcomed into so many people's, TV, through the TV, and so many people's living. There was real affection.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the affection doesn't really cross over into the likes of. I don't know. I've got a fair amount of affection for the likes of Les Dennis or whatever, but because he then did Family Fortunes, it's not like the comedy is what you remember. Like, they were just nice kind of people. Right?
Now I'm, the older I am, the more I can appreciate them and actually think, well, there's a lot of talent that went into them. But I feel like when I was younger,
they were naff. Yeah.
I definitely perceived them as like naff, cheesy.
Yeah.
I was talking about this the other day when the episode lineup for the first series of extras was given.
Yeah.
And it was okay, Samuel Jackson, Les Dennis.
Yeah. And
that's
yet
shit.
And yet
he's
he ended
the
up
best one.
Yeah. He really goes there, doesn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, so just an interesting little side point that literally came out of me being like, who's Paul Squires? Because it was just interesting how it feels so flat, but it's like it's purposeful.
Yeah,
and I was like, I wonder what that is, that in-joke
Bit of
is.
an in-joke,
Do you know what? There's one thing I would never expect an audience for the young ones to do, and that's this. It's my birthday. Oh, what the fuck are you doing? Are we in America all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was
Neil.
Neil.
We love Neil by that point.
It's true. He's the most sympathetic character,
It's
isn't it?
the power of Neil.
What just before that, how many points were knocking out the hippie? 6? 6? Would have been 6 if you killed him, Michael. That is so like throwaway of how little he cares about him. It sums it up perfectly.
Yeah. I really love how cutting it is when Mike says, well, you knew about that and we don't care, so where's the surprise?
Yeah, that's him at his most cruel, I think, Mike. When he's just like, okay, can I go dance? Can I get you drunk? Will he let you put your hand up its jumper?
That's
no.
That's another insight into Mike's psyche.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really like great spot on delivery from like we often lots of people pick on Mike, don't they, as a character, and like I don't think many people say Chris Ryan's performance was off. Really, it's not. It's but what he was working with. I actually think Chris Ryan did do a really good job. It's just that his character wasn't as strong as the rest of them, isn't it?
There's our theory that he's already graduated. There's a line when a little bit before Rick comes in and says, "Oh, your tutor told me to tell you if you don't go to any lectures next term, it's going to seriously reconsider your grant."
But he's got dirt on the lecture.
He said, tell him I've still got the pictures of him and the dean.
Yeah, which is great. And it's like, I love he's like, I think I'll have a PhD next year. Or whatever. It's like he's a chancer, isn't he? Very brilliantly, all kind of like, you're not quite sure. They're all, again, they're bored again, aren't they? There's not really much happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of the cut to the Ben Elton, like the fake booze ad and everything.
Maybe sham ad, but yeah.
The hawk. But I do actually like that little ditty.
Yeah. And now she's going to screw me.
Yeah, it's so good.
He looks like a proper nerd in that as well.
Yeah.
It's on purpose. He's drinking a little orange juice shot or something before.
Did we look up who the actress actually is? Is it no? Okay.
No, I didn't.
And then we get
Elephant
Roger.
Head.
And then
we had Elephant Head before that.
Elephant Head.
Elephant Head's going to come
I
out.
always really hated that when that would appear. I would be like,
to
what
me,
the fuck is this?
That felt like they had an elephant head prop laying around. Like, let's find something for this.
Yeah, it's again like the whole episode at this point kind of feels like, where's this going? Like, what is this for? The elephant head isn't particularly funny, is it? But I do like the drawing on the screen's very Python, where they draw on Neil's
Paul
face.
Jackson's voice.
Yes, it is. Paul says it was him. They they would do the voiceovers if they needed to.
And then Paul Jackson gets to use Roger Sloman twice for the price of one. Of paying him once. Like, I'd almost forgotten about the whole Teddy Boy thing that he played at the beginning of this. Whenever I think of Roger Sloman, I don't even think of the TV detective guy.
I
think of Go to Bed Spotty.
When he's in The Young Ones, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, if I think of him in general, I think of Mr. Harrison. But in The Young Ones, over Bastard's the name, I think of Go to Bed Spotty.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably think of the TV detector man, and then but I know what you mean. Like the line "Go to bed, Spotty" is brilliantly delivered. It's it's a way of just stealing like a little bit in one sentence, isn't it? And then they're just sort of moaning about the telly, aren't they? Like nothing's really happening.
Did you notice that when Vivian smashes up the kitchen table, it's the same sound effects that are used in Bottom Burglary? For when there's stuff happening downstairs and they can hear.
They do sound familiar,
yes.
It's the
exact same ones. I was like, I know that. I recognise that. That's the Chesterfield
sound library.
Yeah.
So in Burglary, you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are, I mean, they're exchanging insults, aren't they? We've already said about Mike obviously having to go at Neil. And then I think the girl bait worm cartoon on Rick's underwear.
Yeah, that feels to me like it's not something that Mike would do because it's a bit too childish. So that does feel very Rick, I think.
Yes, and it's Vivian is winding Rick up, isn't he? Because he's bored. And then I do love that, it's like he has to push it because it's like, yes, actually, I do fancy you, and then Rick gets all freaked out.
Give you a big girly kiss on the bottom. Like, that's a bit strong.
And then that brilliant, pull back to, and it's like straight away cutting that. Oh, sorry, I meant stick a pickaxe through your spinal column. And it's said with such vengeance, isn't it? Like, so good. But they're exchanging insults. They're bored, and obviously the kind of Neil dancing to the telly. The telly being done theme is quite
Vivian
fun.
wants to end it all now. He's like, well, I don't deserve to live, or something. He says something like, this is fuck all this. Doesn't say fuck, but then gets a grenade out, puts it in the fridge, and it doesn't go off instantly. So that's
Chekhov's grenade. Yeah.
And then out of seemingly however many hours it must have been that Mike's been sat on this news. that Rick's parents are both dead.
Sorry.
There
was something.
Yeah,
I just remembered.
The news of which I love brings out Rick's inner Tory completely.
Yeah, it's like, Daddy did get where he was for Harcraft, and he's got to take tax incentives before anything else.
And obviously Mummy and her shepherd's pies, and this wonderful country. He's got a similar upbringing to Neil, basically, hasn't he?
But I think that thing of he got where he was from bloody hard work and stuff. He's obviously parroting things his dad has said to him when they've had arguments. He does say, he does vote. He's an old square. And he does vote Tory.
Yeah.
So I don't think it necessarily brings out Rick's inner Tory, but he is acknowledging his family is Tory, and
his inner selfishness definitely comes out when it's my parents are dead. Selfish bastards.
I was going to spend the whole summer with them.
I do. I love the genuineness of his response to when Neil goes, "You think that's bad?" Yes, I do actually. What's it got to do with you, piss face?
Yeah, and this is one of the ones where Neil, you would expect him to maybe have some sympathy for Rick, and he chooses this moment to say to Rick, "Everything you've ever had, right? I've had it twice and worse."
But you haven't. Your parents are still alive. We've seen them.
It is. They're all at each other's throats, isn't it? That's what's happening. And I think a lot of people from this episode probably really, I would have to say, remember the bank job and obviously the end scene with the bus going over the cliff. So this build up to all of that, I don't know about you, you don't really necessarily remember all of it. I do remember the Rick's parents being dead and it's the selfish bastards line. That's fucking great. I didn't remember the 3D glasses.
Did you not? That's one of my favourite bits.
It is so clever.
Naff. And also, I think for a second, when it went out live, they would have fooled some people.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what? Hang on. This week's Radio Times.
My Radio Times didn't have any 3D glasses with them.
You should have bought it then, shouldn't you cheapskate?
Well, I can only imagine that at that point, because I remember from my own childhood, there was a lot of, it's a 3D film or it's a 3D.
They never really worked at home, did they?
No.
Sorry, just let me tell you that this is a Radio Times related story. Right, so when I was at the BBC Archive, one of the things in there was that someone on the show, probably one of the writers, but maybe it was Paul, someone in there, in this bundle of stuff for the young ones, someone from the show wrote the Radio Times synopsis for the programme. So it wasn't some journalist at the RT, it was someone from the show wrote it and submitted it. And they were sort of quite funny, some were a bit absurd, some were,
Well, they don't necessarily relate to the episode, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So who would have written them?
I don't know, but they were in there and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then at some point I've seen people had tweeted or Facebooked, oh look, here's the Radio Times. I'm like, wait a second, that was the thing in the folder. That's what actually went through.
Okay, so would it have been programme information that was written then? Because it is that the producers of a show will write the programme information in the summary.
I don't just mean the cast. I mean where normally you would expect them to say, in this episode there's a flood in London and the boys build a submarine, but they would write stuff that either wasn't to do with the show or
Neil's wig coming off when the thing explodes. I remember hating that as a kid.
Yeah.
Because it betrayed the fact. Apparently, Nigel didn't want to do it, did he? Didn't want to reveal that
Neil's
happening.
spiel wasn't ideal.
Wait, he didn't want to reveal that it was a wig.
Yeah.
But when they swapped characters, that was...
I know, but apparently he wasn't really
when
happy.
he swapped characters and he takes the bonnet off, he's got the long hair on underneath, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
So, to me, I think a lot of kids probably... That was the moment they found out Neil's hair wasn't
a true
real.
breaking of the fourth wall kind of thing,
And they'd just broken the fourth wall moments before with the 3D glasses thing.
Yeah.
So Mr. Belowski comes in listing all of the things that are broken and stuff. It's the end of term, so you'd have thought they'd be moving out anyway, right?
Yeah.
But they get evicted.
Yeah. But he turns up doing what all landlords do, which
dancing.
is... No. Dancing around the house going, I'm going to charge you for that, I'm going to charge you for that. Even though it's reasonable wear and tear, because I'm a landlord, I'm a greedy fucker.
Yeah, he dances, smashes a chair. Oh, some sort broke your chair.
This is I think, the most believable performance from Alexei when he comes in and he is genuinely the landlord.
Yeah.
He is Belowski, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's he is actually playing the part that they should have just had every week.
Yeah.
Him come in and be an arsehole.
It was an original idea, wasn't it? It's strange that he gets killed by God, played by Alan Freeman.
Fluff Freeman, who featured in a previous episode, but we didn't mention who he was, and some people noted this on Twitter and on YouTube.
He was in Cash.
Yeah,
wasn't
he
he?
was. So
As
Alan
well
Fluff
as
Freeman,
God.
he was a DJ who was one of those sort of like not half pop pickers. All right, we've got a really fan Debbie nosy load of songs, and his big thing was he would when he would do the charts, he would play the song. It's called Pick of the Pops, which is the one that goes.
It's been on and off Radio 1 and Radio 2 over the years, hasn't it? Yeah. It's still popular, I think,
and he was,
on Radio 2.
He was, now talk about people who we found naff.
Yeah.
Him, along with people like Tony Blackburn and Dave Lee Travis, were kind of the inspiration for Smashy and Nicey. But at this point in time, I think he was just quite a big DJ. So, so they cast him as God.
It's that thing that they've obviously got him in. They got him in Cash as well.
They must have shot that at the same time.
That's what I was thinking, because he's in the exact same outfit, isn't he, I think. And I think Paul says on the commentary it took ages for him to get the lines right.
He's not an actor. And one of the cherubs behind him looks a little bit like Hugh Laurie.
Oh, really?
Have a look. It's not him.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets struck down by God, Alexei Sayle, right? So he's actually the first of the cast to die. And in fact, he died in his last appearance as George Lebowski in Flood, who got eaten by the lion.
Okay.
He's the only one to die twice, weirdly. But yeah. He is the first of the gang, if we count him as one of the young ones, to die.
Yes. And then it will be SPG. And now I think it's time for a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Tarbuck.
When I first started cooking, I hit one major problem. Everything I wanted to cook was rock solid. Now here's the answer from the Sharp 7240, a microwave that defrosts automatically. Just select the recipe you want, enter the weight, and you can do the whole thing in minutes. Even an idiot can learn to defrost, and I have. The Sharp 7240. It's one reason why more mums choose Sharp than any other microwave. Hey, and what a choice.
John Ottaway performing Body Talk in the live alleyway is the episode's musical spot.
Yeah.
Ottaway is a cult British singer-songwriter associated with this kind of shit. He is the worst musical guest, in my opinion, and Pace Magazine ranked his performance as number 10 in their ranking of all the young ones' musical moments, which is dead last.
10 out of 12, right?
Well, because Madison twice,
right, okay.
and there's the Lion Tamer in Flood, who is most likely a better musician than this fucking idiot. He's there because he's homeless because his musical career has died. Rightly so. Fucking hell. Don't you think he's shit?
I think John Otway's still going. I think he's got a following.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he's fucking terrible in this.
Well,
this is cringe beyond belief.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, of all of the musical performances, it's fucking weird. But I can't say I'm a fan or anything like that. But I think he's just a bit quirky, a bit weird. Like,
I think he stands out as like it was last episode we ran out of money.
Do you know what?
I don't know.
No, I was right. It's a shame, isn't it? Because maybe he was friends with one of the cast or Paul, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll get him in. It's the last episode. We don't have a chance to do it."
I think
after
they'll
this.
have seen him perform and they'll have liked him. Okay, they'll have gone drinking or whatever. Because that's often what it is, isn't it? It's like they asked for people.
But it's a shame that this is the last episode, and in an otherwise like great episode, there's a sort of not very good musical act in it.
I think it kind of works in the narrative though, doesn't it? Because they're all pissed off with him when they're in the streets.
I'll make his body talk in a moment.
It's not that they're enjoying the music. It's like he's a tramp who's singing around the bins.
Yeah.
So it kind of plays into it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's all part of, actually, should we get him in?
Yeah.
And it'll be just a little bit irritating. And that will work for what we're trying to conjure up, don't you think? In terms of the tension and... it's not a good song. It's not a good song, but it's a bit quirky. You know what I mean?
SPG snoring when everyone else is not being able to sleep for the body talk thing. I think that's just to remind you all, hey, remember SPG exists?
Okay.
Because it's going to be later.
Yeah.
He's not popped up in any of the other bits of the episode. They mentioned Vivian's plant that he's kept for 2 years as well. So he's kept a hamster.
Right.
And the plant's dead though, isn't it?
So, they mentioned that he only started looking after it because it was dead.
Yes.
But Vivian's actually got a bit of a caring side. I mean, he's going to be a doctor, isn't he? So he's got a good bedside manner.
Only in it for the money though, isn't he? And speaking of money, Rick Moot's becoming what he calls a destitute.
I thought as a kid, destitute was the male prostitute.
Oh really?
I thought completely wrong.
Well, it's like homeless, cold, and prostitute.
I am sex.
Yeah.
He is very, very handsome. Not that Rick is handsome, but obviously Rick Mail is handsome. So it's an interesting thing they mentioned it on the commentary, don't they? It's like actually he did get a lot of attention.
And it was bewildering to him.
That is
he
the
said,
joke here, because obviously Rick
I am
thinking that,
sex.
but they do it with Richie and Bottom as well, don't they? It's sort of like, you know, you'd be lucky to get 10p a go
Yeah.
and all that. Very, very fun. Thatcher's Britain. So yeah, a lot of fun, that one. Women want me and they're prepared to pay and everything. And then the double joke of hello,
Hi,
Dawn.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oh,
you've
it's
got-
not someone called Dawn.
Dawn's
It's
coming up.
actually Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Dawn.
And then the girly swat turns up.
Right, she says when she thinks that Rick's going to be
Yeah.
paying her, it's a yes.
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's sort of sweet. So
Yeah.
Well, she's just finished.
she's
you know,
in
got
such
lot
a
of
good
bills
mood
to
riding
pay.
high. Okay, sure, I'll become a prostitute. Essentially, that means But don't you think her banter with the boys? It suggests that they are all friendly with her and know her. It's like if you had only seen this episode, you would then assume,
think she was
she's a regular.
She pops up every
Yeah.
episode or
I
something.
know
Oh,
what you mean. Yeah, she's familiar with them. It's like they obviously know each other from the common room or whatever at uni. Don't you think though she doesn't really sell the knee and the balls?
That is true.
She doesn't commit enough to the knee and
Yeah.
to the crotch, does she?
Gets too much of a gap between them. Yeah.
Who is she?
Dawn.
Is she?
Yeah,
I did look her up. Hang on.
because she's not someone.
Joanne Pierce.
She's not someone I recognise from anything else.
Joanne Pierce. She actually also plays Princess Wendy in Whoops Apocalypse.
Okay, right. Okay.
So yeah, she was obviously a friend or known to them in the sort of acting circles. Again, it could have probably been better direction wise, but it's just the knee doesn't quite make
I suppose
contact.
If
with
she's not a
Rick's
physical
crotch.
comedian, she's probably worried. And Rick goes, "Oh no, come on."
Yeah,
Fine."
that's it. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, Rick will have been like, yeah, really go for it, because he obviously reacts in, you know, true Rick Mail style.
Right, Vivian breaks the fourth wall. Nice thing of like, oh look, here comes the postman. Why do you keep announcing everything? It's cool because we're on a set. And
Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
afford any long shots.
Again, more meta mentioning of
Is
things
that-
like they do that a lot in series 2, don't they?
Yeah, I suppose it's because they've learned the conventions of television now. So they
Yeah,
can now
but
make
they're
fun of it
making
more.
fun of it,
Yeah.
aren't they? It's like having a lot of fun with all of like the joy of being we're making our own TV show.
Them signalling that they can't do any wide shots and stuff is then followed pretty soon after with some actual exteriors of them
that's
driving on the bus
locations.
and stuff.
Yeah, but
isn't
that's
it, you know?
location stuff, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
That's
is,
not
but
the-
maybe it's
yeah.
something to kind of big that up a bit as well. That they say, oh, it's just a studio set, there aren't any wide shots, and then that becomes even grander
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah,
Think,
I guess
maybe?
so. Yeah, a lot of the budget will have gone on that bit, wouldn't it?
so
and then, of course, we get Lenny Henry entering as the
Who-
postman.
who I think makes a great Nazi.
He does. It's a very good uniform.
He's got his little Hitler tash. He's got
Yeah.
his Nazi
Yeah.
medals, and he's got his German accent.
What,
yeah.
what's the association there? The post.
Do you know what? I don't.
office-
It doesn't need to make sense.
No, it does make sense. Rick says, give them a uniform and they think they're
Oh, that's
Hitler.
it, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's something that everyone
just-
says, but
yeah.
I don't think they say it necessarily about postmen. You say it about traffic
Police.
wardens and
Police, I
people
thought,
who
yeah.
are like,
Okay.
you know, sticking like, you know, penalty notices on your car. You know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the kind of thing
yeah.
that we would be
and
like.
it's any
we-
uniform.
I'll betray my now dead mother, but we used
Yeah.
to call traffic wardens Hitler. Like, look out for Hitler.
Oh,
What,
really?
Yeah.
Your mother was a traffic warden.
No. When we were driving and parking up and everything, it would be
Oh,
like,
I
oh,
see.
you
Yeah.
know, keep an eye out for Hitler, and we'd
Okay.
be referring to traffic wardens.
Now,
you know, in a jokey
now,
way.
They are there to keep the traffic moving freely. Okay, without them, things.
No,
would- things
when we
would-
were parking up. Like, and it's like, make sure there isn't one because we're just going to pop in for 5 minutes. Anyway,
Well, then you should pay to park, shouldn't you?
5 minutes, come
Fucking
on.
hell.
Anyway, that is, I think, quite a common thing that anyone
Yeah.
in uniform is kind
Sure.
of referred to.
Yeah.
When you've got like, you know, someone, you know,
So
who's in a position of power.
I guess so. Then the joke is, I can understand it as a traffic warden or some bill
Yeah.
collector.
Postman.
But it's even a postman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not particularly. Like, I don't think that you'd say it about postmen unless they're complete arseholes.
No, Rick-
But I do love that he's very friendly and he's kind of like, why is he coming to the streets
Well,
to deliver
'cause-
them their exam results?
there's
It
no
makes no sense.
it's because he needs to track them down. They're no longer at the house. Well, obviously, what would happen then is I better
Go
use
and
my
check.
detective skills
Go-
and
go and
find out at what street
Overhear the
corner.
tramp singing body talk.
Yeah,
and
that's
stop him
clearly them.
immediately.
It's clearly them. Yeah.
But it's nice. I think Lenny should have been in the Young Ones more, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, he does a good,
Well,
Yeah.
it's
good little
like
time.
you started going out with Dawn French around that time, so he was obviously hearing of the cool kids on the block and like, oh, I want to play.
Well, he would have been performing at the comedy store and everything with them, wouldn't he?
Did he do Comedy Store?
I would have thought so, yeah.
What?
He had his
Rick.
own-
He,
and
was,
his own
I mean,
show
Lenny
eventually.
Henry was someone who had a slightly different entry into show business because, like the chap you were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
Lenny Henry's big break was on a talent show, wasn't it? It was like Opportunity Knocks or whatever.
New Faces. I
New
believe.
Faces, there you go, yeah.
Same as Victoria
And
Wood.
Victoria Wood, yeah.
And he obviously did make notoriety there, but he was, I mean, he was in the Comic Strip Presents. Like,
Yeah,
he was in the
yeah.
gang,
Was he?
wasn't
Okay,
he?
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But
Anyway.
but yeah, he was going out with and married Dawn French, didn't he? They're no longer together, but they were together for ages. Rick implies that he's got a degree in domestic science. Now, is that the same thing as sociology?
No.
Yes, that's another thing with him being
It's just
inconsistent.
another non-degree.
Well, he completely abandons his morals and says, the one thing I will say about Thatcher is that she certainly has got the country back on its feet.
Well, that's the irony, isn't it? That they're all penniless and in the the
We
streets.
went over this in the Rick series episode of them coming bottom in the whole world.
Yeah.
I think is well funny.
It is
It's literally that there's a chart somehow, how badly they did.
And it's the glee in which he tells them as well, isn't it?
Ha!
Like, bottom of the
He
whole
says-
world.
And you did, Neil, then Mike, then Vivian, then Rick. Ha! Right in his face, the ha. It's like, you bloody little swat,
Yeah.
Neil! You bloody little what?
And
He's
then
furious.
Mike has this epiphany moment, doesn't he? And this is like a big piss take on all of those old school
Was it
crooners,
I've
isn't
heard
it?
it's like meant to be from Gone for the Wind, but I've never seen Gone for the Wind. Is it?
What's the line?
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
What is
Oh, okay, the film. Well, just that speech that he gives in the white suit.
I'll never be poor or hungry again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from something.
Well, they say on the commentary "Gone with the Wind," but I can't honestly
'Cause
say I remember it.
It feels like there's a similar one in The Simpsons, which tomorrow is another school day. You know, that has the same
Yeah.
sort of feeling of it.
It's that wistful sort of rallying cry.
Vivian
It happens in a lot of
Vivian
stuff.
sets that up, didn't he, by him saying, "Oh, who cares about life? Who cares about me? Not me, that's for sure." Which makes me think a little bit about Beckett. I think
Okay,
this
right.
everything's so bloody who cares? It's all rubbish. Again, they've always been a fan of it since they met each other. Mm-hmm. So obviously going to creep in their early work as well.
Yeah.
Mike comes up with a plan to.
Okay, so we're going to rob a bank, and everyone's alibi will be it was Rick.
And I love that Rick kind of agrees with that.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Me?
bother
No.
logic.
Yeah.
And obviously, Fascist Pig Bank PLC is a brilliant visual gag.
Now, don't they all look great in sunglasses? Don't they?
And Rick's in his
Mike's-
red beret.
Yeah.
Mike's always in sunglasses.
Yeah.
Well, nearly always. It was different.
Yeah, but the other
sunglasses.
three, this is new for them,
Do
isn't
you
it?
notice there's little bags over Rick's ponytails?
Oh,
Yes,
was there?
yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, it's a nice
Like
detail,
little-
isn't it?
It's disguised. So
now-
they won't cut them off.
We talked about this is the last opportunity to get their friends in the show, and this bank. So this bank has Brian Croucher, who's an actor, not an extra. Helen Lederer behind the counter.
Yes.
The gas man.
What? Is he in
Mark
yes,
Lambert
yes, he
is
is.
the-
Yes.
He's the bank manager.
He's
Well,
the
he's the clerk
other-
in the front,
yeah.
isn't
Alright,
he?
okay.
Like
Art
not
manager
Steve
Steve
Frost.
Frost.
All right, yeah,
It's
okay.
Steve Frost in the back.
Steve Frost, Norman Lovett is in the queue, and also Jules Holland is in there
Yes.
as well.
Jules Holland, I didn't get this until this rewatch. That is a parody of the advert that Vivian did.
Really?
Because-
Oh, the punk.
Yes,
Oh.
because
Trying to get the-
so the
yeah.
punk advert,
Yeah.
he goes, "I would like to open a bank account, please." Like, certainly, sir. All you need is £1 and a reference, and then we'll send you a checkbook in about a week.
Right.
And then in this, the guy goes, "I'd like to open a bank account, please." He's like,
Okay.
certainly. All you need is a steady job, loads of cash, and a reference from your bank manager.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Because I think they have said there was some sort of they were a bit annoyed with Aid doing that advert, right?
Were
So
they?
I
Yeah.
think so. Like in the
Okay, okay.
character.
He's,
that-
he's in character, isn't
so
it?
it's fun that they had a
Yeah.
laugh with it. And yeah, they're all. I mean, I do like the joke that Norman Lovett is like the owner of the penny arcade over the road. He's got
Yeah.
this wheelbarrow
He's all,
spilling out with
and
pennies.
Neil had foreshadowed that before.
Yes, yeah, that's really fun. I mean, Helen Lederer kind of underused, but smiley bank clerk saying
Yeah.
good morning at the, and that kind of
sir.
joke of
This
like
is the good morning window.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the friendly face of the bank.
And you know who else is in this scene? But although we don't see them, we hear them, and they bring him back again to play the only copper in the show. You hear his voice,
Yeah.
Michael Redfern.
Is he?
Is it?
It's his
Is
voice.
there a robbery? Yeah.
You can hear him outside.
Okay.
The one time you hear the police, it's him. I'm like that. I know that voice.
I think it's setting up the plot, but when there's the cutaway with the real bank manager, with the bank manager, Mr. Real Robber, and he says, "Well, I do have to tell you, I pressed the alarm." It's like, he's got a gun on you.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. There's bank robber has a Euston Film Property Department on his sack,
Right.
which is like a gag, I suppose, that was a real equipment prop house that they would rent things from.
Yeah.
So it's not a mistake.
What? As in, like, it's a bag.
The bag on it says Euston Film Property Department.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's, they're making out like it's a mistake.
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
the Simpsons animate a boom pole.
yeah,
going.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
on purpose
Yes.
mentioning that they've got a prop department.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot of fun. I mean, so chaotic in many ways. Love the obviously back and forth of like, oh, only water pistols, and like all of that with Neil, and then Rick's brilliant. Kind of like I didn't even get to say, stick 'em up.
Hands
This
up,
is a
give me
robbery.
the money.
Yeah, hands up, give me the
Hands
money.
up, give me the money.
Which results
Rick!
in
Yeah.
Brian Croucher, Harry the Bastard, handing over the
And to
cash.
be fair, like Rick, quite brave in that moment where he does just grab it.
Yeah.
Quick!
Yeah.
Yeah, the sped up Young Ones track they play a couple of times, didn't they? This
Yeah.
is the last time.
Yeah, I do think like all of this bit. They do say that they wish they hadn't filmed it outside. I actually think it looks good.
Yeah, I
like
like
it.
it.
Like in the Young Ones universe.
Again-
I did notice when watching it, when the car crashes, the camera jolts, and then when I rewatched it with the commentary,
yeah.
they talked all about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. Well, it makes sense. Like it's a wobble because they've hit something.
Yeah.
You buy into it.
But
they seem to be saying they weren't happy with like SPG ascending to
yeah,
heaven.
yeah.
Yeah,
because
so
it was
it
obviously
plays
outside.
bagpipes because he's Scottish.
Yeah,
it's quite
I
sweet.
mean, I mean, obviously, when you are the person who's created the thing,
Yeah.
you'd be more critical of it. So understood that they would say, "Oh, we could have done that better in a
Yeah.
studio." But I think it works really well that they run straight out and they're
a
in
little
the car
niggle.
and it's
A little niggle.
Yeah.
Vivian has previously stated that his car only has 2 seats, and they
they've got
get in the
enough room.
back, and there's 4 seats.
Oh, wow.
Shit! It's shit, isn't it? But I
Do you not
genuinely,
love the Young Ones anymore?
I genuinely,
Because of that.
genuinely do not like that SPG dies. I get very sad.
Oh, really? Oh.
I think it's quite beautiful, isn't it? Because they're killing everyone important off.
Yeah.
You know,
He foreshadows
he
them
gets
dying
his
as well.
own.
He
Yeah.
says, "I'll see you later, you little wimp."
Yeah.
I'll see you later, you little wimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, it's actually kind of nice that he's included. They didn't actually
Yeah, but
properly
if-
kill.
They should have killed the fifth housemate. Maybe the fifth housemate.
Well, she dies at the end of
The
Flood.
fifth housemate. They should have had the fifth housemate on the back of the fucking bus.
Yeah.
Just not, obviously just like this, just
Yeah.
swaying around as it moves.
Yeah.
They should have been just
Yeah,
visible.
that would have been quite funny. Yeah,
That would
but
have
she
been the
does die in
Scumbag.
floods. She does die in floods, doesn't she? You see her, she's drowned outside.
Yeah, but
Yeah, this that
as,
would have
as
been
we're
good.
doing
Yeah.
killing off the main people in this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a main character, I guess. No main character energy for the fifth housemate. Again, like you remember all of these bits from this episode, but like the main thing you're remembering is it's like 5 minutes, if that, the final sequence,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I love
That's
that
what you
Rick
take away
saves
from
the
it.
day.
Proper
though.
filmic
When he
sequence.
runs off, you think, he's been
yeah.
a coward.
Again, he's quite brave in this.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got the money, and he actually has the forethought to go and get a bus.
So I suppose he's still got the fake gun, isn't he? So he can go and get a bus,
Yeah.
or get out of the bus, and everyone else off the bus.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was an empty bus.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's actually being an anarchist.
Yeah.
like he is actually doing what he wants to.
Like,
It's
he
building
lifts
to
his
this wonderful
sunglasses up,
speech,
like,
isn't
look,
it?
it's me. If you can
Yeah.
guess.
He's really excited.
I like that once Viv takes over driving and they're in the back and they're playing, right? It's nice to see like a feeling of camaraderie amongst
Yeah.
them. And Rick actually coming up with a plan,
Yeah.
This is, we're young ones, bachelor
Yeah.
boys.
They're all getting on. They're all singing Summer Holiday.
Yeah.
Like Viv's driving. He's happy as Larry, isn't he? Like swerving everywhere.
Mike's not too cool for school. He's joining in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got so much joy happening. I mean, Neil's playing guitar.
Yeah.
I mean,
which you don't see, do you? Even though Neil came from the hippie character
Yeah.
of the folk singer.
How did he have his guitar with him? Yeah,
I wonder whether that was on the
Yeah.
bus. Like,
suppose
where
so.
are the screaming people that had to
Yes,
run off?
they left behind their guitar, and he's great at guitar.
Yeah.
To make their deaths properly satisfying, they had to set it up that, everything's now going right for them.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
all friends, and now we're going to
And
take
then
it
the
all
rug
away.
pull, quite
Yeah,
literal.
yeah.
The driving over the cliff moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely astounding, isn't it? Like, and so fun. And there's this rousing speech from Rick. We're bachelor boys, like we're big bottomed, wide-eyed, anarchists, it is very bittersweet. I actually think I was watching it and I thought if they played a more kind of somber song over those end
okay.
credits, it could rival Blackadder.
It's quite somber.
in
It's
its
quite somber.
kind of,
Yeah. it does.
bittersweet
I compare it to Blackadder though.
ending.
It's
They're all
another
dead.
Ben Elton
Matt,
thing.
I think that what you should do is that like an editing challenge for yourself.
Yeah.
Get that final scene, slow it down, and play dun dun dun,
Blackadder
and
is
see if you
Yeah.
can see if you can, and then maybe fade to poppies at the end as
Yeah,
well.
Okay.
And
Right,
it is interesting they didn't go with, a Cliff Richard song or like the young ones just played, melancholy. It's this like real kind of wow. It reminds me of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's Kate Robbins doing the vocals on the closing.
Yeah, she's actually, fun fact, Emily Attack's mum.
Okay.
That's who Kate Robbins. I mean, she's an English singer and actress in her own right. She's the voice on that, and it is just by Peter Brewis and orchestra, who obviously did all of the musical composition for the young ones.
We mentioned this on the Rick series as well, but I think it's absolutely genuinely heartfelt, beautiful. The end credits are the young ones were. And then everyone who worked on the show in alphabetical order, cast and crew.
Yeah, no job description. It's just and same goes for cast. Not like this person played this. Just a roll of all the names.
All equal. All and just we're the young ones.
The young ones. I think that's genuinely excellent.
It is, and it's. I think they had to fight for it a little bit, didn't they? Like, I think there was a little bit of an argument.
I think they had to fight with the BBC, but I gather all the cast and crew were like, someone like Lenny Henry was like, oh man, finally I'm on the young ones. Was like, of course,
yeah, that's it. Like, I think it was that it bucks the trend, doesn't it? It's against the norm. I don't think I've ever seen that in another sitcom or film.
I've seen ones where at the end, I think it's films where rather than actually name people, they've used people's photos. But I don't think I've seen one where it's just like, here's a list of everyone who worked on this.
Equal pegging.
There's no hierarchy, it's just everyone's names.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. I mean, obviously, and then the brilliant, double like fake reel of phew, that was close. It ends on laughter. It ends on such a great gag. I
mean, the stunt itself is amazing, isn't it? Like the lead up to it is brilliant. The lookout cliff, but then
do you think they had the billboard made? Especially, they must have done.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Because it references. It's the Young Ones and Summer Holiday Tour.
Oh, okay, right.
So that's it. I was just wondering whether that was something that had existed and then they recreate. I know it's like they created it for the show, but I just wonder if that was an existing kind of poster.
I don't know.
Like, I'd have to delve into the Cliff archives, I guess, but I suspect it's been made by the art department.
Am I misremembering the commentary? But when the bus went over and it crashes and crumples, was it supposed to? It was supposed to explode as it hit.
In one shot, and then
and it didn't. So it's like, okay, right, we need to work out where to fix this. All right, goes down. All right, go back in. Get the guys in as long as it's safe. Right, we'll set it.
It wasn't safe, I think.
So that means originally there wasn't going to be a few that was close.
That added that.
There's an added gag from a mistake.
They made that from the mistake. Yeah.
And it feels like it's meant to be there, doesn't it? No, like, it's brilliant. Yeah, just fantastic. And that is an example of how you can turn that could have been a real fuck up, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Into brilliant, like have a laugh with it. Fantastic. Summer Holiday is my favourite, I think. I like Bambi.
That's your favourite?
I mean, Bambi's so great as well, but that's the one everyone obviously remembers.
Because they die, it makes me sad, and I therefore don't like watching it
I've seen a few people online kind of comment that they can't bear to watch Summer Holiday.
I watch it the least out of all of them. I watch it the least.
See, because I like the kind of energy of Rick and everyone at the beginning with the summer, school's out, all that. And like, I don't know, it's hard to pick a favourite, isn't it? Like, I do this with Bottom. I'm like, I'll convince myself that it's one and then I'll change my mind. Yeah, I mean, it's up there, I think, in my top 3.
What a legacy, the whole show.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about lasting legacy of the show. We've got stuff, few little things written here. The Young Ones is consistently in the top British sitcom polls. The British Film Institute placed it number 31 and the 100 greatest British television programmes of all time.
Oh, that's so not just sitcoms, but programmes.
This
was in 2000.
Okay.
It's credited with kicking the door open for alternative comedy on the BBC. Channel 4's Comic Strip Presents as well, which is also them. So, they were in competition with themselves, they said. Yeah, it was a cultural pivot from Oxbridge satire into this more working class, anti-Thatcher coded comedy that dominated the 80s and 90s. The killing your own show is a tradition that Ben Elton did again in Blackadder Goes Forth.
Yeah.
Well, they killed them all at the end of Blackadder 2, as well, don't they? Like, it's a trope of finishing the series
and
by
kind
that.
of in 3.
Hugh Laurie dies at the end of 3. There's always a death. In fact, and the first one ends with they all die at the end of the first one, don't they? But no one talks about the first. The first series didn't exist.
The second one happens after the end credits as well. So some people miss that.
If I can just get the voice right.
I remember being really affected by that because I love Blackadder 2.
Do you know what?
As well as Blackadder.
Do you know what's affecting about that? All right, they're all still most of the have got their eyes open.
Yeah.
And
Blood.
I think the Queen has like some blood running out of her mouth.
It's chilling.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, we're not here to talk about Blackadder, are we? But very, very well done. I mean, I think rewatching this is like made me really like this was such like. Obviously, it's nothing new to say, but the young ones changed the face of British TV. It's such a fitting ending. I can't imagine them coming back with a series 3 after that. They killed them. Like, it was purposeful, wasn't it? They were like, no, there's not going to be any chance of us, doing a Christmas special or any of the stuff that might happen.
Filthy Rich and Cat Flap is the unofficial series 3 of the Young Ones. It does feel more like the Young Ones than Bottom, I think.
Yeah, but it's really not. It's completely... it's his own
different
beast,
characters
Filthy Rich and Cat Flap for me, I think. And as is Bottom,
And I think Richie and Eddie in that are kind of similar to Vivian and Rick, but around Filthy, it's so different from Neil.
Oh, yeah.
So
exactly.
different.
And that's where I don't think there's any point trying to draw comparisons, really. No. It's just, it is the same cast, less Christopher Ryan. But the actual content of Filthy, the characterization. Yes, we do have, violence and, the back and forth with Rick and Aid, but it's so very different in its tone and how it's all put together.
Right, yeah. So what the cast did after this, Rick Mall went almost immediately into The New Statesman, 1987 to 1994 as Alan Bastard for Yorkshire Television. Also reunited with Adrian Emerson and Nigel Planer for Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, and then Drop Dead Fred in 1991, and then he did a stage version of Waiting for Godot with Adrian Emerson, and went on to do some sitcom called Bottom.
Maybe we should do a podcast series on that.
Adrian Emerson married Jennifer Saunders 11th of May 1985, just a year after the final. When did Bottom, other things, Nigel Planer... Filthy Rich and Cat Flap recorded Neil's heavy concept album in character as Neil, it was around about the same time as the Young Ones. I thought it was after.
Neil's Hole in My Shoe and everything got to number 1. We talked about it a bit on our Young Ones Rick episode, didn't we? We might actually cover it when we do the Bachelor Boys ep and everything, right? Because Neil as a character went on to have great success. Yeah. He had
done a bunch of adverts as well in character.
Yeah.
He also, what's the drama thespian coach that he played?
Nicholas Craig.
Nicholas Craig, had another little run of success with that. Christopher Ryan went on to become like the anti-Mike in Bottom.
The
as well as person. Lots of other things. As in Doctor Who, EastEnders, Only Fools and Horses, and somewhat of a recluse now because he's got sick of people saying Mike's not very good in the Young Ones. Alexi Sal went
on too.
Which we should say, I think, again, I think Chris Ryan I think he held his own, having revisited it. I know Mike as a character is weak, but it's not anywhere near the level of negativity that it does actually get. Like the joke,
I agree. I agree after this. And finally, Ben Elton went off to write basically all of the greatest sitcoms. Lisa Mayer sort of stepped back from television writing, but we're doing an interview with her coming up next.
Yeah,
so
we've got that coming up.
We'll go over all that when we speak to
we're looking forward to playing that for everyone.
So within this episode, standout moments, or one standout moment, favourite moment. I'm going to say, for me, it's the bus stunt. It's brilliant.
I don't think you can... If it's one, you can't pick anything but that, I don't think.
Yeah. You can't pick that? Okay.
No, I'm saying...
Anything you can't...
I'm saying there's no other one particular thing from this episode
you definitely
could say.
The one thing you remember from it. I think Rick's parents' death stands out most for me. It's so horrible. and that the twist on it, the selfish bastards, feels very Richie.
It's what it shows is as writers and performers, they can take the darkest of material or, moments and they could twist it into a really huge laugh. That was their absolute genius, to be able to do that, play with the audience. Because it could be played really somberly, couldn't it? And it's not, it's just like, selfish bastards. Because no one ever takes any of it seriously, even when really horrible things happen. It's a cartoon, isn't it? It's like we never met his parents, we don't have to care. But yeah, that one's fun. It's got to be the cliff. I mean, obviously the bank robbery is fun.
Yeah,
the amount of the cast list that we've got crammed into
this is our
that
last
bank
scene with extras. Who have we still got on the list that we want to have in?
I did actually. Mark Lambert playing the bank teller or whatever you want to call him. I didn't spot that it was the gas man. Until this rewatch. It's like he's such a different.
He's got
character,
a little bit more hair, but it's.
He's very different attitude. A lot of fun.
Different accent.
Yeah.
He's putting on the accent for the gas man.
Yeah, well, he's Irish.
Okay, so we've got a couple of letters here that were written to the Radio Times around the time of the show finishing in 1984. As you can see, there was some passionate views on it. Okay, so these are letters to the Radio Times on the 7th of July 1984, so at the end of the Young Ones.
It was the 19th
out.
of June, wasn't it, that it went out? So go on.
We may not see the Young Ones anymore is the headline or title. I didn't think it would be long before the Radio Times letters pages filled up with complaints about the Young Ones. Furthermore, they were exactly what I and probably just about all other averagely intelligent fans of this masterfully inventive and rather funny programme expected. Bigoted. They're talking about the letters here, right? I'm assuming they're responding to other letters. The deeply provocative thing about some of your correspondence published in the 16th to 22nd of June issue, so a couple of weeks back, is that they adopt the alarming attitude that their opinions are facts and not merely subjective viewpoints. Everyone is entitled to their opinions, but no one is entitled to the arrogant assumption that their opinion should apply to the rest of us. I'd really like to know. I'd love to know what it is.
Would it have been in response to any of the racist police?
Maybe.
Anything like that.
There's a bit more of this person's letter. It's broken up by a cartoon in the middle, but it takes perception as well as the right kind of sense of humour to appreciate the wealth of talent in the young ones. The scripts are incisive and brilliantly constructed, and the acting is of a vividness that it is quite simply stunning. I realised all this, of course, after I'd stopped rolling around on the floor bellowing with laughter. Television doesn't often make me do that, so I had seriously to ask myself why it suddenly did. The Young Ones is another in the BBC's line of admirable comedy achievements, the worthy successor to the genius of Monty Python and not the 9 o'clock news. Thanks for The Young Ones. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to praise it, and for giving Mr. Taylor and company, I'm assuming that's the person who wrote the letter they didn't like, the opportunity to condemn it. Real talent is something you can't ignore, even if you don't like what it's saying.
Well, isn't it fascinating that we all... Well, I mean, now we've got social media and, kind of keyboard warriors and all of that. People go on and on as if, only in social media did we get to kind of argue and have all of this, back and forth. But it actually just used to take place across the letters pages of newspapers and mags. And we've always disagreed with each other.
You saying that has made me realise, there's me going, oh, they used to have letters. Social media is probably what killed letters pages, isn't it? Because now people just tweet
in or whatever, and so they still do it as a bit, don't they? On the likes of the One Show, they'll read out what people have literally sent live, but now you used to write off, send it off.
Often shows and radio stations and that now they'll delete, and let's read out the tweets.
So the opinions all being circulated. Obviously we agree with what's this?
That was Paul Mann. In York.
Paul Mann.
Yeah.
Well, he's the man. Yeah, we agree with that one. Okay, what else was there?
All right, okay. So this is from Helen Best, age 12.
Shall I read that? I'm young and I love it is the title of this one. None of us can read that out.
Look, officer, I took that as consent, okay?
Right. I'm young and I love it. I am writing to say how much I love The Young Ones. I never miss it. It's the most hilarious programme that has ever been put on telly. Nearly all of my class watch it, and as for the people who complain, I can't see what there is to complain about. The actors that play the parts of Vivian, Rick and Neil are a scream. She doesn't mention Mike.
So something's notable by its admission there, isn't it?
She's 12 years old and a critic already. I think the BBC should make it a longer running series. Helen Best, age 12, from Caterham in Surrey. Well, we agree with Helen, of course. And isn't it interesting? It's like damning by faint praise, isn't it, by not mentioning Mike there?
Yeah.
Not her favourite. Yeah, can't say that she was wrong, but obviously she didn't realise that Fawlty Towers was 2 series and done, and that was why they weren't going to do any more of it.
And there you go, age 12, so just another example of the kids watching it.
It's interesting to think, isn't it, that if we had more The Young Ones, would it have got the notoriety? Would it have faded away in memory because it might have gone out on a fart? Would it have been another 6 episodes of absolutely incredibly intense energy?
I'd love to know, but at the same time, you wouldn't want to risk them doing another 6 and and it dying on its arse, you
Yeah.
know, or they've run out of ideas, or their heart's not in it, or whatever, you know.
And this is the thing that obviously they grappled with, and they made the decision, no, we just want to do 12. Because I think they were offered a lot of money. That's what
Right.
I think is said by quite a few people. They were offered money to do a third series because it was so popular, and they stuck to their artistic morals and said
Fair
no,
enough. Yeah.
didn't want to. And yeah, fair play. I mean, sometimes we do say bottom series 3 had a bit of a lack of ideas, or, you know, maybe just wasn't executed in the same way for many reasons. I think because it had gone away for a long while. We had different production design working on it, all of those things that affected it, and age, and all of, you know, like they'd been out on tour, and, you know, it affected the vibe of the show, didn't it? Whereas the third series, The Young Ones in 1986, I guess would have not had that same.
But I suppose, like, how long they are of a very specific age in the young ones. They're students. They are the young ones.
Yeah, what would they have done? Because the summer holiday one
how long can you keep them that age?
It's brilliant that but you could have done 3, could you? First year, second year, third year.
Yeah.
So it could have been believably 3, but they'd obviously decided they didn't want to, which is fair enough. And I think it is perfect. I mean, I don't think there should have been any more Faulty Towers. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. Go on, Matt. You read one out.
All right. Nicer Than Dallas. Your correspondence, letters 16 to 22, 2nd of June, offer an interesting insight into the viewer's mentality. The young ones are coarse, disgraceful, and disgusting. While the same issue, Dallas, is described as television's greatest achievement ever. Presumably, it features no bad language, as another correspondent gleefully reports. One of these two programs shows adultery, corruption, attempted and actual murder, and the accompanying enjoyment of large quantities of money. The other, patiently intended to be taken less literally, shows bad language and cartoon violence, with nobody getting seriously hurt. It's also very, very funny. I know which one I prefer, Martin Scott. Which is which, though? I don't understand his point. Of course I do. Yeah. Well,
I think he was a big Dallas fan.
Well, you know, I love the idea that Dallas, humanity could go on for thousands of years, maybe millions of years, and when we reach the end of the universe and the sun eventually dies, Dallas will have been the peak of entertainment that humanity ever invented. The letters that this person is responding to, where people are clearly complaining about the young ones, saying, hey, why doesn't everyone watch this other thing that I like rather than the thing that you like, because this is the better thing. This ties in a bit with a bit of what we were talking about a few weeks ago with Nasty, where there's these things come along and young people like it and older people sort of react against it, you know, whether it's videos or the internet or social media, and they'll always, like, the older generation will cite something, you know, be like, oh, you know, why don't you read this or watch this? But then if you delve into it, like often Shakespeare, you know, like why don't you read or watch some classical Shakespeare? Okay, well, you know, what should I watch? The one where, like, the daughters kill their own father, or where they gouge someone's eyes out, or where they, you know, where someone sleeps with his own mother?
There's a good one where they serve someone's remains up in a pie to someone. That's Shakespeare. I think that's Titus Andronicus, I think. Was Shakespeare in his time dismissed as filth?
Oh, you don't go and see that latest Shakespeare play. You want to, I don't know, read some Chaucer. Was Chaucer before Shakespeare? I think
He
so.
did get terrible reviews, didn't he, Shakespeare?
Okay.
That's sort of the big joke that runs throughout Upstart Crow, isn't it? That actually in his own time, Shakespeare got awful reviews for his plays.
Okay.
And Ben Elton feels like a similarity with Shakespeare in that way. Because he also always gets terrible reviews. Right, so I think it's time for a quiz. You get your fart buzzers out, boys.
All right, okay.
All right, and my one's this. It's one I've always gone for, actually.
Right. Yeah, it's a good quiz. Is that the quick?
Yes.
Right, question number 1. Aid requested his trousers to be based on a particular comedian. It was Paul, I believe.
Yes. Eric Morecambe.
Yes. That is 1 point to Paul. According to Vivian, how long ago did term finish? Matt?
4 hours ago.
That is correct. 1-1. When they're in the garden, Mike is reading a magazine. Can you name it?
Oh, no. Or, actually...
I'm going to say Good Housekeeping.
Incorrect.
No. Is it Smash Hits?
Incorrect.
Oh, what is it?
Club 18 to 30.
Okay, right,
It must be I'd say a brochure or magazine. But Club 18 to 30.
Okay.
Okay, still one apiece. Question number 4.
He's definitely at the upper end of that spectrum, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay, question number 4. How many packets of polos does Neil list as having out in his exam?
4. Oh, okay.
So I'm going to say 5.
It is 5. So he says a packet of polos, extra polos, and then each of the 3 gonks has a packet of polos.
Okay, right.
So
Very good.
5 packets in total. So that's 2 to Matt, 1 to Paul. We're on question number 5. What type of plant does Rick say Vivian's tending
begonia.
to? Begonia is correct.
Dead
Another
when he
to
got
Matt.
it, and he just pisses on it. He doesn't water it, he pisses on it, doesn't he? Nice detail.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 6. What is the name of the girly swat who turns up and badly pretends to knee Rick in the bollocks? That was you, Matt.
Dawn.
Dawn is correct.
Reference to Dawn French.
Dawn, all the dawns. I say at some point, all of you have woken up at the crack of dawn. Anyway, question number 7. When Lenny Henry shows up as the postman, aka Hitler, he greets the boys with the phrase, "Guten Morgen, meinen kleinen Friesliche." What does that mean in English?
That means good morning, my sleeping friends.
It's not sleeping.
Good morning, my small
Reclined friends.
kleinen Fleischer.
Flindenlische.
Flindenlischer.
It seems like an R when he says what it
okay,
translates
good
to.
morning, my small friends. Good morning, my small friends.
Okay, you're definitely
Because
closer with
Kleiner
this
is
one.
small.
Yeah.
Freunde
Yeah,
is friends.
Yeah, so
but I'm not sure what Lisha is.
Well, it's good morning, my little friendly one, according to Google Translate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I think Paul did get that because you just said friend. You didn't get little.
Uh-huh.
You said
I
sleeping.
said sleeping.
You said
For
sleeping.
reclining, I thought.
Let's give it to Paul, and that's now 3 all.
That
Oh.
N I
Let's
got
make it exciting.
at German AS level is really
N.
paying off.
Nice.
Yeah. N for nearly, yeah.
And
yeah.
for not
And
scored.
for no real
no
grades
marks
for you.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
In
an
fact,
N.
N
Yeah.
for worse in the entire world.
I didn't know they existed either. I'd rather have just had a fucking fail.
I've
So,
heard of a
do I
U
get any
for
points for that?
ungraded.
No, you don't get
Yeah.
any points. Okay. What's the use of it then?
Okay, right. The DJ Alan Freeman played God in Cash and Summer Holiday. He was the longest serving presenter on Pick of the Pops on Radio 2.
Oh, I was,
You
go on.
buzzed
Sorry.
in. Do you want to guess?
I mean, what the rest of the question is?
Okay, so you've frozen out now until I've read it all out.
Go on.
Yeah.
Freeman retired from radio broadcasting after presenting the last edition on the 1st of April 2000. What presenter was he replaced by? Matt,
Vernon Kay.
All right.
incorrect.
Radio 2 in 2000. Was it Chris Evans?
No.
Was it Terry Wogan?
No.
No,
It's in
go on.
2000 is why I didn't say Jimmy
April
Savile.
2000, yeah. No, it's Dale Winton.
I wouldn't have got that. Oh,
Dale-
you
yeah,
you
Dale
could have
took
given me
over.
100 guesses. I wouldn't have got
Yeah,
that.
no, I remember Dale doing Pick of the Pops. Anyway, that interested me. And
Okay.
I thought, it can't all be questions about the young ones.
Well,
Well, I think
I will
it's meant to be.
remind you of that the next time I'm doing a quiz.
Well, this is the last of our
on.
series, so we won't have that many more. Question number 9. In Summer Holiday, the gang decide to rob a bank. Fascist Pig PLC. In real life, Aid Edmondson stars as a punk Vivian-inspired character. You're buzzing.
This is for Abbey National Bank.
So I'll finish the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
For which real bank?
Is it TSB?
No.
Oh, Halifax.
Both wrong.
Halifax. No. Who was it?
Lloyds?
NatWest.
Is it NatWest?
Okay. All right.
NatWest, National Westminster.
Okay.
Once they're on the Freedom Bus, what game does Neil suggest they play?
Charades.
Charades is correct.
Okay. What on Matt?
Hey!
Yay! It's all a bit of fun. I didn't actually add up who was what, but I think you have won the series, haven't you, Matt? You kept score of how many you've won?
I've kept
I
score.
know I've
I've-
definitely not won.
I think I've only won like
Have
one or
you
two.
have you won every single quiz that you've done? That you've
I think I won one.
because I
think.
have.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think I might have won one of them.
Yeah.
Which would have been against you, and then
Okay.
you beat me last week.
Okay.
So Matt's the winner.
All right.
Yeah.
So-
I was quietly fucking nervous of this one. It's like all the pressure's on. If I get all of them apart from the last one, that's shit. That's nothing.
Well, it's not nothing. You've won.
Perfect
Right.
score.
Yeah, well done.
Perfect
well,
score.
I did suspect you would win the quiz on the young ones because you obviously have. That was
was
good,
good
boys. Well done.
So a couple of quiz question answers that I thought were basically some stuff I crammed into my memory. Like this will be a question.
Uh-huh.
We get the written down official address of what their house is
All right. go
on
on.
the for sale sign,
Yeah.
which is 186 Pearland Walk, Carlston. Fascist Pig Bank. I thought would be a question. And what's the slow? So yeah, for So I'm taking Hijacker the Quiz. That's my prize. All right.
These things you wanted in there. Well, I remember we asked about what was on the side of the bus.
Yeah,
in
we
the Young Ones
we
ep,
did.
So I didn't repeat that
Sharp's copies on the other side of the bus. It's Sharp's microwave oven on the side when it blows up. When he picks it up.
Well, my bonus question, if you want it, was going to be, what is the number of the bus and its destination?
It's King's Cross. And it's number 42?
It's number 73.
You know what? It's nice that TfL gave Paul Jackson that bus. I recall in the commentary he said that the only thing he had to do was he had to take the TfL logo off the bus. They wouldn't allow it to be seen.
Right, yeah.
I probably they don't want people thinking buses can go over cliffs, but not TfL buses.
Yeah, that might damage the brand.
What a weird...
I would have thought it would actually be the BBC that would take it off. It's
maybe.
London Transport. Like, what else is it going to be? Anyway, that's a good little nugget.
Right.
And other question I thought you'd ask would be, what is the slogan for Hawk Lager? Do you know what it is?
Oh, go on.
It's stay witty and sexist to the bottom of the glass.
Very good. Right.
A lot of fun.
That was Summer Holiday, and so that's it for series 2 of the Young Ones.
But why didn't they make more?
What we have coming up is we've got a couple of interviews. So we have Paul Jackson live on stage at the Norbury
Have we
Theatre.
mentioned that one before?
I believe so, once or twice.
Yeah.
We have Lisa Mayer, who very kindly gave us a great interview.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple of extra episodes. One on Oh No Not Them, which is the terrible... No, wait, I won't give opinions on it yet. Yeah, well, it's the awful American attempt at doing the Young Ones.
Yeah, if you've not watched it, find it. It is on YouTube, and do watch it before you listen to us do the podcast.
Although,
on it.
yes, it is on YouTube. That was ripped off of Nigel Planer's Patreon.
I would say seek out Nigel's Patreon and pay for the privilege, but actually... I mean,
well, give him,
I would not.
I don't know. Give him some money.
But
you paid for it. Well, we will say you paid for it, Matt, and that's how we've all watched it.
And it's not me that linked it to YouTube. Genuinely, it wasn't.
Exactly. But do watch it though beforehand, because you need to see this to believe it. So
let's just say that you should support artists and not encourage copyright theft and all that sort of thing. So do get it from Nigel's Patreon, but also just so you know, credit cards you can do a chargeback of something if you feel you haven't gotten value for money. Okay, so I'll just throw that out there as well. And then beyond Oh No Not Them, we're also going to do an episode on the book, the Bachelor Boys book.
Yeah, so the Bachelor Boys,
absolute gangbusters back in the 80s.
So that's the unofficial third series. They say basically just to get more sales up. So the Bachelor Boys is referencing Rick's speech. Right?
Well,
we're the young ones.
I think
Bachelor Boys.
Yeah, but that again is a Cliff Richard reference. The Bachelor Boys. Yeah, that was a Cliff Richard thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all referencing
it all weaves in.
Yeah.
All works. And then also, I'm very excited. We're going to have an interview with the Drop Dead Fred director, Atta de Jong.
Yeah.
He was incredible to chat to. We'll probably put his out after all of the Young Ones theme stuff.
Sure. I think we've kind of skirted over Lisa Mayer's interview as if it's just okay.
Oh yeah, it's just nothing. We are so delighted she made time for us, and it was a good long while that we've chatted to her. We might have to split it into two, mightn't we?
Maybe
it was
about 2
definitely
hours
more
worth of
than
chat.
more than an hour and a half, I would say. So yeah, we're really excited to share that with everyone. Stay tuned; they're all coming up. If you aren't already following us, if you've enjoyed this series of Talking Bottom on the Young Ones, do let us know on 11mafferkingparade@gmail.com. If there's anything you feel that we missed, keep it to yourselves, because we're finished now, so we're not going to go over and redo it.
Too late.
But no, there will be things we've missed, of course, because we can't cram it all into this short time we have together. But it's been really great. I'm so glad we've finally done the Young Ones, because it's been on our minds. Obviously, our favourite show is Bottom of Rick and Aids, but the Young Ones is absolutely the close second in terms of their
This has
career.
allowed me to rediscover it and find a new appreciation for it. So I've been really pleased with it.
Seeing them so young, so, like it's like we're now so fucking old. Like, you know what I mean? We're like the generation now that would be like, oh, I'm not watching this. It's too anarchic. It's too loud.
Yeah,
you know?
We're older now than they were when they did Bottom.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yuck, what have we done with our lives?
But, to me, like it was lovely to go back at it and pick up a few jokes that I had missed and stuff. And
it's so nice to revisit. And there's always more to find in it. I think if I went back and rewatched it again, I'd find more stuff to say and notice and everything. So yeah, any nuggets that we did miss, do let us know. On email or at Talking Bottom on all the socials.
Tell you what, we'd have had maybe a third of our information taken away from us if that Blu-ray wasn't out. Now, that commentary is fucking excellent.
Yeah, it is, and I do think we need to petition it. But Ed Bye said it last year's Rick Mailfest. I want to say the same thing to Paul Jackson. Like, there should be a Bottom 40-year anniversary celebration Blu-ray. I would love that.
And we should be producing the commentaries.
Because well done to Richard Latto for pushing for the. I'd love to chat to him actually. So we're not done. I think is what we're saying. We're not finished. So do please stay subscribed if you're a fan of listening to all things about Rick and Abe.
You don't unsubscribe for something when the show ends, do you?
I think you can do.
Thank you very much for listening. Follow us on the socials. We got a book out. Find that, and see you next time.
That's it. Fuck off.
Phew, that was close.